This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast on Tuesday, February the 7th today. Nice, bright, sunny day.
For the moment, yeah.
Chilly as all get out. Across
Rain
the
expected
region.
this afternoon.
Mike Allaire, our grand prize winner from our football playoff pool, just came in to pick up his
I'm sorry I missed that.
75-inch TV. He said hello.
Oh, well, that's good. I hope he enjoys it.
He went out and bought a bracket brace and a wall mount and everything already.
Did he buy a new wall?
Not kidding around. Brought the half ton because this thing, you're not getting it at a Tercel. I think he said that was his other car. Can't bring the clown car in. No. You got to bring the half ton. It's a 75-inch TV. And how many radio people does it take to lift it? I don't know. A bunch minus me. I didn't get involved in that.
No, you didn't help load it?
Whole bunch of people making that work. So, Mark, congratulations. Thanks for coming by. And then tell us about your social picture. You're ready to go. We
were taking some pictures this morning for the coldest night of the year, which is coming up February 25th. We'll talk about that later this week. Yeah. We'll get that going. Getting some money raised to help support the Grayson shelter here in Belleville.
And your link is up on your Facebook page?
It is up on my Facebook. That video, it's going to combine all of my teammates. I'm not sure when that's going to go up. Probably later this week, I'm hoping. But it should be pretty funny. So, yeah, hopefully that will generate some money as well.
Was there antics?
You know me. There are never antics.
There are antics.
Never antics.
So watch for that on socials. That's going on. Today on the podcast, a bit of a serious turn for us anyway. And Carey Durant, who's been on the podcast a couple of times talking about hockey and raising money and philanthropy, and then the various serious issue around Kyle Beach and the exploitation of young players, these sorts of things was on there. He himself has gone through a bit of a health scare, and so as a public service announcement, we kind of had a meeting of the minds to say, maybe this would be worthwhile sharing a little bit of his story. So we tracked him down.
What an incredible story. So I saw it on Facebook, and there's been things I've commented about, things you've posted in the past. We'll see. We're friends on Facebook, so if I see something, I'll comment. I had no idea, Carey, that you were going through what you were going through until you posted your story. But what an intense couple of months for you.
Yeah, it's really been a life experience. I would say very much a life-changing experience. But every experience that life throws at you, you're going to have some adversity in your life, and you try and take it and you try and turn it to a positive. And really, that's why, I really wanted to chat with Mark and yourself about this, because I'd like to bring some awareness and some education towards prostate cancer, because it's something that I had only heard about, but now I'm a survivor of it now, hopefully.
And so let's start with that. Number one, you're a guy and you hear cancer, and we don't like doctors. So let's start with that scenario. How did it begin for you, this journey? What did the first few steps look like?
Over the last, several, 8 to 10 years, I had gone and, like most guys, we're lazy, or we just don't want to see a doctor. I kind of wasn't that way. I always wanted to talk to my doctors about blood tests, and someone suggested, as you get older, closer to 50, maybe you should be getting your PSA checked. Well, I was a little more proactive in that. Probably around 45, I started it, and my numbers were a little bit higher. They were about a 3 to a 3.5 when I was 45, but my doctors weren't overly concerned. And then as the years progressed up until just this, 5 months ago, my numbers went from that 3 all the way to 4.8. So that's when my family doctor was concerned, and we had a long chat about it.
So from there, tests obviously followed to see exactly what was going on.
Yes. Listen, I have to give a ton of credit to my doctor, Dr. Nick Martin in Trenton. I will tell you this, I believe that he saved my life.
Yeah.
Because if he wouldn't have, talked to me about this, educated me more on this, and said, hey, Carey, you have to go, then this wouldn't have happened. So what had happened is when my numbers were that high, he sent me to be screened to a gentleman named Dr. Guan in Belleville, across from the Belleville Hospital. And he was such a fantastic guy. He told me what the test was. And for some people, they would be very, very afraid like I was. I went and got the tests. Basically, it's called a screening. And they came back to me a week later and told me that my prostate was basically, it was full of cancer.
Right.
What is that like? When they say that to you, Carey, my goodness, I can only imagine. But tell us firsthand when they made that.
Well, for about 3 days after, everybody just sounded like Charlie Brown to me.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, you weren't taking it. Yeah.
I didn't know whether I was coming or going. And I think the biggest thing was, through my other experiences in life, I really believe that, I could deal with anything. I had to come to grips with that I had cancer. And at this point in time, it's a huge mystery, because I'd been screened, I had been told, but I hadn't gone through any of the processes of a CT scan or a bone scan, so I didn't know at what stage this was at. So now it was I was worried the first week that I was going to get bad news, and then I got the bad news, and now all of a sudden, is there any more bad news coming after that it could be stage 4? What was I going to be like? So I was really worried. I had to tell my spouse, Lori, about this, and obviously it wasn't great. I told the people that I work with, and it affected me, but I seen the reaction of people around me, and that's what really affected me, and that's why I'm going to be such a big advocate for this, because men don't realize, I know they're afraid to go and get these tests done. I know they're afraid of what they're going to be told, but what they don't realize is all the people in their past that are in their lives, this is going to affect everybody.
Yeah. A friend of mine many, many years ago had that diagnosis as well. And a couple of friends that we were talking about, we all said to him, oh, thank goodness, because this is a cancer you can beat. But you said something very important, and he said, but it's too late. And that's when we found out, prostate cancer is beatable, but you got to get it early. So when we heard that, and he said, no, I waited too late. And there is a real fine line. Like you talked about, only months before you were fine, bang, months later, it's full of cancer. It is a small window.
Yeah, and when someone says that, out of all the cancers you could get, I don't view it that way. I look at it as no one wants to have cancer. No. Obviously, we know it's taken a lot of people's lives. And you don't know what the road ahead of you is. Even though it's curable, I can tell you that this has been quite a road. On November 17th was the last day that I left work. I had talked to my boss, and I had talked to my fellow coworkers, and they were devastating for me. And they said, what do you think? And I said, I don't know when I'll be back, and I haven't been back to work since. And I might not be back to work until April or May sometime, until I'm fully recovered from this. It's not just about the cancer. What comes after that to rehabilitate yourself, to obviously move forward in your life, and it's going to change your life for sure. Oh,
absolutely. And thankfully, I don't want to make light of it, but thankfully in your case, because you caught it when you did, you have undergone treatment, and there is a happy ending for you.
Yes, I think that first off, I'm very blessed to have, my spouse, Lori, all my friends, you guys, all my friends in hockey, the kids I coach, the parents that are on my team, everybody that has gone through this journey with me has only been uber supportive. They've been very good. I've had people come to my house and visit me, phone calls, messages on Facebook from you and your husband, Charity. Everybody's been behind me on this to be able to beat this, which has given me some strength too, and I've had to find the inner strength to get through it, because, like I said, November 17th, I left work. Luckily enough for me, and knowing some people, I got into the hospital at Michael Garand to a gentleman named Dr. Signal. He had actually done a video conference call for me from the World Cup. He's a friend of a friend, and he's the chief of surgery there for urology. And he was the one who operated on me on December the 30th. So it was. I wasn't dancing on New Year's, that's for sure.
Yeah, no.
No, but you mentioned...
Not this year.
Not this year, next year.
But next year.
And we can say that.
Yeah.
But you mentioned how this diagnosis, yes, affected you, but the people around you. But as we were alluding to, so is your recovery. Now that you have had the surgery and you are on that road to recovery, these people, again, still very important for that journey.
Absolutely. And right now, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my surgery. They give you options of radiation, of an open cut surgery, or robotic surgery. I elected to do the robotic surgery, which is still with a surgeon, but they use the robotic tools in the machine. They basically, there's 5 incisions plus the 6th incision for the tube that drains all the fluid out of you, which was pretty intense. It was a 3.5-hour operation. And then you can be out of that hospital the next day. They send you home, and now you're on the road to recovery, getting your staples out. And I had to wear a catheter for basically 18 days, which I had never experienced before, and I certainly don't wish it on
Ever
anybody.
Again. No, I can only imagine.
It was crazy. But then the road to recovery now is after this is obviously it's a little bit of a circus down there right now going on. I don't have a lot of control of anything, and I will admit right on the radio that I am wearing Depends at 56 years old. I never thought I'd be wearing them until I was maybe in my 80s, but I'm having to wear them and learning to get control back of my bladder and the use of my urinary tract, and it's a very humbling experience to know that some of your independence has been taken away from you.
Final thought, though, we talked about how guys don't like to go to the doctor, and you know, part of it's fear and part of it's laziness and part of it is, oh, come on, it's not going to happen to me. But you've talked about these amazing doctors that you've met. Take us through their eyes then, what they said to you, what guys should do, what to look out for, and why is it that we should be getting checked according to the doctors? What's their views?
Well, the doctors are don't ever be afraid to go get a colonoscopy or a prostate exam. I can tell you that they're a little bit uncomfortable, but it's not a lot of pain. You should be doing this. If, like in my family, supposedly it was hereditary in my family, so at 40 years old, you should be being checked. They told me that my son had to be checked at 40. People for colonoscopies and maybe not running in their family, it's about 45, 50 years old. But you should be doing this in regards to getting your blood taken and having your PSA checked and making sure that your numbers are good and doing it on a regular basis, and do it while you're young, and that way you can get a baseline, and then you can follow that baseline throughout the years as you get your physicals done. And the doctors have all made sure that I understood the reason why you have to do this. It's not just for yourself, but your wife, for your kids. If you want to see your grandkids and you want to live a long and healthy life, prostate cancer is very beatable if you catch it in the early stages. If it's not, like you said, Mark, as your friend, it's not beatable, and it can cause you a lot of issues. And, you know, besides the screening, then they go through and they give you the CT, the bone scan, which I had. They make sure that it's not in your bones and it's not in your organs, and then they start treating you from there. I just want to tell you immediately, as soon as they found out that I had cancer, they put me on medication for 2 weeks, tablets, and then they injected me, which gave me a 3-month window. They kill all the testosterone in your body, because the testosterone is what basically feeds the cancer, and they cut that right out of your body.
Wow.
They take it right out, and it's done. Like you start to have. I've had lots of hot and cold flashes now.
Yeah.
Now anything I ever thought about when women complained about that kind of stuff, I totally feel for them. Totally understand exactly what's going on with that.
Wow.
And that listless feeling. Well, we're happy to, if you want to talk about it, we're happy. I mean, you said, talked about giving you the platform to do it. I mean, if, again, the old saying is that if one guy or one woman listening convinces her husband or brother or, older son to go get checked and save a life, it's totally worth it.
Wayne turns 45 this year, and guess what he's going to be getting for his birthday?
Ta-da!
Yeah.
He's going.
And I will say this, anybody that's listening, which I know you guys have a ton of listeners and a ton of fans out there that follow you on your podcast, follow you on your show in the morning and that, you can give my phone number to anybody. I am more than willing to speak to anybody about this, because I think it takes if I didn't have the support people around me and the courage it took to obviously face this and go through this, a lot of people don't have that support system. A lot of people don't have anybody to turn to. And if I can be that guy to help somebody get through this, I would be more than happy. Or just to give some people some education about what your PSA is, what your Gleason score is. It's a rated score, and basically a 6 is about normal. Mine was 9.
Ooh.
They
Wow.
actually removed 90% of my prostate, and they removed more than they wanted to, but because when they send the pathology test away, they want to make sure that they got every bit of cancer out of you.
Right.
And again, it's a road to recovery, but hopefully now I'm going to be able to live to see some grandkids and get to coach more kids in hockey and get to do all that. But I have to thank Dr. Signal at East York General, Michael Guan, Dr. Guan in Belleville, and especially my doctor, Dr. Nick Martin in Trenton, for saving my life, because if it wasn't for those 3 guys, I can't tell you that I would be here. And for all the nurses in Trenton and for all the aftercare that I've got, you people, the first responders, all those people, I love you to death. You did such a great job for me.
Carey Durant, hockey philanthropist.
The fishing guy,
raises
yeah.
money, fishing, coaching, and now getting the word out on what it would take to survive cancer. Let's hope that the next time we talk, it's because you got a hole-in-one or something, right?
Yeah.
Like something great.
Yes.
I'm hoping the next time I speak to you, if I can just give a little shout-out to the kids that play hockey for me on the Quinny Red Devils U13 team. They're a great bunch of kids, and right now we're making a run to get into the playoffs, and then eventually going on, hopefully, to the OMHAs and hopefully going on to the OHFs. Those kids really drive me to be the best I can be, and they've gave me a ton of energy to get back coaching. And hopefully the next time I speak to you, maybe we can even bring a trophy and come and say hi to you.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that would be wonderful, Carey.
Nice.
Would love that. Thank you so much
I
for
thank
sharing
you.
your story.
Well, thank you both for giving me the opportunity to use the platform to be able to educate people and to assist people in any way that we can, because being a part of the community for me is really important.
So thank you, Carey. We appreciate it. Not an easy thing to talk about.
No.
Not an easy thing to talk about anyway, let alone if it happened to you.
But clearly feels it's important to get it out there. You wanted the message to get out there that you need to get yourself checked. And all those guys out there who are hesitating, remember the people in your life. Like, it's not just for you. It's for your partners and your children and your loved ones. You owe it to them to make sure you're healthy and look after yourself. So get out there and get checked.
So do that. It's Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. We're back at it tomorrow morning at 95.5 Hits FM, where we'll be unveiling our Throwback Thursday, and we are going far afield, as we say, for this one, because we're actually trying to pick songs we're not sure you're going to like, sort of. I know. Let's really sell it.
I don't know if that's
I'm
an
not sure we can
accurate way to describe it.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it.
The songs themselves have been labeled a certain way, and Mark and I disagree. So
Yeah.
we're hoping you will agree with us and not what someone else has said about them.
It's a bit of a retribution corner.
I think so. That's
we
a
are
good way to
trying
put it.
Reconcile
Retribution.
these songs. Yes.
Yep.
Reclaim them for the pop landscape.
Yes.
And if we don't do it, Charity, who will?
Isn't that always the question?
Coming up tomorrow morning with Mark and Charity Mornings on 95.5 Hits FM.